So Kathy, you just retired as the executive director for the Gilbert Chamber of Commerce, and you've been in that position for, was it 24 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So we have investors that have properties in Gilbert, would like to know about what's going on in the economy in Gilbert, the safety of their investment, the future for them. What are your thoughts?
Well, as CEO of the Gilbert Chamber of Commerce for the last 24 years, I've seen a lot of growth occur in our community that we know and love as Gilbert. And my first thought is that we spend a lot of time planning for a quality community, a safe community, and we stuck by those standards. And that's what's so very important about what has brought us to where we are today, but what is also going to take us long into the future. And so when somebody invests in Gilbert, they are making a very wise investment for their dollars, whether it's in real estate, opening their own business, raising their family here in Gilbert. A quality community is one that has high building standards, that has incorporated landscaping and beautification type amenities within our infrastructure. And so by investing in quality from the very beginning, whether it's our roads, our town facilities, or our neighborhoods, that's what equates to quality for me.
If I could add to that, I was at the town of Gilbert for 25 years, 19 as economic development director, and then the last 6 as development services director. So I was over all the planning, building, engineering, permitting, and so on. To Kathy's point about quality, we had a design review board that a lot of people don't always like to have to adhere to the standards, but they're glad they did because they know their neighbor's going to have as quality of a project as they have, and it's holding its value today. And so that really set the standard for going forward for Gilbert.
Actually, I appreciate you saying that, Greg, because property values in Gilbert are actually higher than neighborhood communities for similar products.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So when we look at economics and what drives a good community and things like that, my thought is that economics are driven by population growth and by job growth, by wage growth and things like that. Can you comment on those issues and how they're affecting Gilbert?
Well, when I moved to Gilbert, we had 27,000 people and very few businesses, maybe the 200 block downtown and a few others within the entire community. Greg arrived a little sooner than I did, but Gilbert doubled its population every 5 years for a couple of decades. And with that came tremendous growth, not only in the residential side, but on the business side as well. And we've been very fortunate to have the retail component added to our community, as well as high-paying jobs. And so what we're seeing today is Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies looking at us to bring their business to Gilbert because it has a great quality of life for our residents, for their employees, a great school systems. We have 3 different school systems within our community. We have a lot of choice in schools within our community, and they all rank in the top tier nationally. With that growth becomes the opportunity to actually live, raise your family, play and work in Gilbert. And I think that's a key component to what makes a full community.
Awesome.
And when I started, the manager at the time, Ken Cooper, said that I asked him, I was economic development director, and what do you want me to pitch for Gilbert? And he said, the family-oriented community. And I said, well, that doesn't sell businesses. He said, it does, because if families move here, that means the schools are good, that means we have the amenities, the parks, everything else is in place. That'll bring the businesses to adhere to that. So it's just, and we've made some good investments in the redevelopment area, the Heritage District. We bought up a lot of property down there and spent money very wisely down there to grow. It's one of the top downtowns in the valley right now.
Yeah, that's true. So what I hear you saying, Greg, is that this isn't a new focus. You've been focused on this for decades.
And the challenge was, as a small community, as you know, the dollars were scarce. We didn't have a lot of retail then, and so where do you get the dollars to fund infrastructure and all the needed things they have to have during a growth period? And so that was always a challenge, and we had to make some tough decisions to spend on. You always want to provide for police and fire, but how do you make sure the roads are safe and invest in the future? That was tough to do, but we got through it. There not a lot of blueprints to go by. We were the fastest growing community in the country for a while, as Kathy said, and that's hard to. You can't just go to somebody and say, "How do you handle that?" You just got to go through it.
Yeah, awesome. So during your time here, the Air Force Base switched to become Gateway Airport. How does Gateway Airport impact Gilbert in the future growth in Gilbert?
Well, we see the airport area as an economic engine for Gilbert, and we had the vision 20 some years ago when the reuse plan was underway, and both Greg and I served on that committee to look at what is going to happen out there when they close the Air Force Base. And what we're really proud of is that Gilbert invested in that. They're still a 10% partner, I believe, at this time. And we didn't ever know if we were going to get any return on investment. We really took a chance on that, and we are seeing that they're one of the fastest growing airports, or small airports in the nation as well, continuing to grow. We have that education hub there with ASU and Chandler Gilbert Community College. And what we're seeing is that is attracting businesses to our community. Even though it's on the border of Gilbert and Mesa, we share that economic engine together.
And so even though the base isn't in Gilbert, it's in the East Valley, and more jobs there mean more jobs for residents close by in Gilbert. They don't have to drive into Phoenix for jobs. They can just drive right across the border of Power Road and go over to Gateway to work. And that makes a big difference in quality of life for all of our residents.
That makes Gilbert housing very attractive. It makes the schools and the quality of the community make it so that whether people are renting or owning, they want to be in Gilbert. And the community has a great reputation. And I just want to compliment both of you because you've been on the leading edge of not just creating the vision, but implementing the vision. And so that's pretty awesome. I appreciate you taking your time to do this video to let other people know. What other thoughts do you have in closing?
Well, one of the things that is a concern to me is we've done all of these great things in Gilbert, but now we need to be looking into the future as far as what happens when we're at build out, when we stop building new homes.
Talk about that community. What do you mean by that?
Well, what happens is, the town right now is somewhat dependent on development fees that come from new housing construction, new business construction. And once that last new home is built in Gilbert, we will no longer have those development fees coming in to help provide that revenue to fix our streets, to fix our wastewater treatment plant, all of those types of things. And so we have to be very conscious about how are we going to make sure that we maintain that quality of infrastructure within our community that provides best-in-class services for all the residents and all the businesses so that everybody can be successful and grow within our community. And we have to do that in such a way that we are financially responsible. In other words, you don't want to wait until you have to replace a wastewater treatment plant and you don't have any revenues coming in. That's not good for the tax base. And so doing what we've done in the past. So the history is going to help us a lot. We looked into the future. We took chances. We invested wisely. We need to continue that as we get close to build out.
And when I was at Gilbert was really on the forefront of things that other cities didn't do. We were the first to have a wastewater fluid that went back into the community and recycle our wastewater. Nobody was doing it at the time. And we needed those kind of innovative things. Like there's a lot of smart city initiatives out there right now. The town's going to take advantage of that stuff, technology to save costs on infrastructure improvements and replacements. that's what's, and you don't even know what that's going to be right now, but it's going to change how the cities operate in the future.
So the fact that you're actually focusing on that says to me that anybody who's investing in this community now, that their investment is well protected and it's going to continue to grow and develop. The fact that we have high-paying jobs moving into not just Gilbert, but around us as well, and the economic generator that is the airport, all of those things make investing in Gilbert even more valuable. So I appreciate the fact that you're looking and saying our leadership is looking ahead still. They're not just resting on what we've done before.
Right. And that's what makes Gilbert special,
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah. We're forward thinking. We want the best for all of our residents and their families.
Yeah,
that's never been lost.
That's excellent. So I appreciate you sharing your time today. Just for whoever's watching this video, they are on vacation. They're hiding out in the mountains and the tall pines and getting out of the heat from the Valley of the Sun. But I thank you for being a part of it. Any parting thoughts you want to add?
Well, Steve, first of all, I want to thank you for your leadership over the many years. You're very humble, but I know during some of those critical times that Gilbert had to make some decisions about what we were going to be in the future. You were on council, and you made some of those tough decisions that created Gilbert for what it is today. You continue to be invested in our community and invested in helping other people make good decisions for their real estate investments. And I couldn't agree more that if you're looking to invest in a community, Gilbert's the one for you.
Thanks. I appreciate the kind words. My goal is to help people build financial independence for themselves and for their children and their grandchildren, so that all about the legacy at this point. And we've got a great legacy in our community. So thanks for what you guys have done. Thanks for your time on this video. I appreciate it. And so I'm going to look forward to a great future here in Gilbert and in the Valley of the Sun.